Welcome back on this Thursday evening. As you saw earlier in the newscast, the American ambassador to Canada is in the Maritimes, spending a few days here, getting to know us, and we are pleased to be joined by Ambassador Pete Hoekstra this evening. Thank you for your time and offering us a few minutes. You got a busy schedule. Appreciate you coming in.
Thanks for the invite. It's great to be here. At least I think it's great to be here. We'll find out, right?
Oh, I'm sure. Why wouldn't it be? You've been here for a couple days in the Maritimes. You've had a chance to meet with a number of people. What are you hoping to get out of this trip?
My fill of lobster, and we had one last night. No, I mean, my job is to present America's agenda to the Canadian people, to the Canadian government, to represent America. This is just one more opportunity to do that. We're trying to get to, obviously, to all the provinces, the territories, to communicate that, and to just have a dialogue with the Canadian people, with Canadian businesses. We've got such a strong and positive relationship to build and foster that for the future.
You met with some folks at Halifax International Airport.
Yep.
Travel, of course, is down.
Yep.
In the air to the U.S. and across the border, the land borders as well. There is a U.S. Customs pre-clearance center at Halifax Airport. If that trend continues, of fewer people flying to your country, is there a risk that we could lose that?
Not anytime soon, and we'd have to change dramatically. All right, pre-clearance is a huge benefit to the U.S. government, to America, to Americans, Canadian citizens as well. Unless the Canadians kick pre-clearance out of Halifax, it's here to stay.
All right.
Yeah.
You commented today about people Canadians deciding not to travel to the States. You say Americans aren't doing the same thing here, and you've been very frank about it. That this is a bit of a it's hard to get your head around.
Yeah. I mean America. I mean you have politicians who are advocating don't travel to America. There's nobody on the American border who sees, who's saying, don't travel to Canada, don't buy American products. Matter of fact, ban them from, ban Canadian products from our shelves. It's kind of like, I don't know, that we're not there. We're not anywhere close to that. I mean, Canada right now has what? The best trade deal of any country in the world. When President Donald Trump came into office, he said, hey, we're going to change our trading regimen. There are things that we need to do to make America strong, to make America prosperous, and those types of things. So we're changing, and we're changing it for everybody in the whole world. And as a result, the UK came and said, hey, we want to negotiate a new deal with you, okay, a new framework. Check, done. The UK's done it. They've a whole bunch of countries, and disappointingly, we haven't been able to get to that final point with Canada at this time.
Well, let me ask you about that, because we haven't heard much from our federal government the last little while. I think the last comment that was made on discussions is that there were some technical things that were being talked about, and that's really been about it. Is there anything you can tell us about where the state of negotiations lie?
We opened the comment period for USMCA, or as we know it, CUSMA, as you know it. American businesses have the opportunity now for the 120 days to submit their comments in terms of how's it working, what are the problems, what are the issues, as we go through the negotiation process, which hopefully will be complete by July of 2026. It's a review process, so that's happening right now. So rather than coming up with a major rewrite, it looks like we're gonna slog through going through the technicalities, and we'll see what this agreement looks like between the U.S. and Canada next summer. So there's always a possibility it'll change, or that we'll get to an agreement sooner than that. But other than that, that's the process that we will go through.
You don't see any major announcement about some of these things like steel and aluminum and lumber perhaps before then?
Oh, there may be. Yeah. Okay, but in terms of as a president would probably say, one big beautiful deal agreement, right now it looks like that's not on the table.
Does your administration want to see a bigger CUSMA or USMCA, more included in it? What do you think that will look like?
Well, I mean, I think when after the president and the prime minister met, for the first time and talked about the trade opportunities and those types of things in the Oval Office, and then spent an hour and a half together in a lunch, there was significant talk about getting to a big deal that would, cover all the products covered under USMCA, but also energy, autos, steel, aluminum, and you go right through the list. All the things that we have strong ecosystems with today, as a partnership today, and as well as covering some of the new opportunity areas, critical minerals, artificial intelligence, data, digital, all of those kinds of things potentially could have been in that kind of a deal.
Well, let me ask you about critical minerals. What would your administration like to see the relationship be between the U.S. and Canada on critical minerals? Do you see the U.S. buying more from Canada? Do you want more involvement? You signed a deal with Ukraine. Is that something that is a model for more more deals?
Critical. They're called critical minerals for a reason. They're critical. We need them. We need access to them. I think both Canada and the U.S. recognize we're not going to get them from China. So the U.S. is, we're scouring the globe as to where we can get them. I think we'd love to have an agreement with Canada. We were already invested, I think, close to $100 million with various Canadian companies to do mining operations. We've invested through our Department of Defense to address the economic uncertainties and the high risks that come with some of these projects. And so we're supporting Canadian industry to develop. So obviously we see Canada as a real strong potential to be a partner in critical minerals.
You're from Michigan.
Yep.
The Auto Pact, you know it very well. Is that a framework, perhaps, in critical minerals with the supply chain like that?
All of those are possibilities. We just got, our folks have spent a tremendous amount of time talking with the Canadians. We haven't reached that framework, but hopefully they will go through that, through all of those issues, and they'll go through it one way or another. I mean, we got to like a 7 or 8 page deal framework with the UK. That outlines a lot of the top line goals and objectives, and now a bunch of people are working through and implementing the details of that. It looks like we're starting the other way. We're taking a massive existing agreement. We're going through the process to review that, and then we'll see what changes come out of it. So there's a whole bunch of ways to skin this cat.
All right. Ambassador, thank you for your time. We appreciate you coming in tonight. Enjoy the rest of your visit to the Maritimes. I understand you're off to New Brunswick. You'll be treated well there as well, of course.
Yeah, we're passionate about this relationship. It is a great relationship that we believe can get to be much bigger and much better.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
We will take a break. That's Ambassador Pete Hoekstra, and we'll be back with much more of your news after this.